All right, the recording is on, colleagues. I would like to welcome you all to this briefing session, compulsory online briefing session for completion remedial work of perimeter slash boundary fence, including installation of 3 access gates at Sebokeng campus. This is for the Vaal University of Technology, tender number PU 3015 slash 022. Tender for the completion remedial work of perimeter boundary fence, including installation of 3 access gates at Sebokeng campus, bid tender number PU 3015/022 for the Vaal University of Technology. Colleagues, my name is Tsepo Mampuru. I am a contracts manager here at Perco SA and will be facilitating this process on behalf of the university. I will shortly be joined by Ntate Moses Milelwane from the university, who is the project owner in this regard, and he will take us briefly through the scope of work when he does join the session. I do request that colleagues to verify your attendance of the session, that you complete your contact names, your company name, contact details, email address, contact number on the match box in the session. That's the mechanism we're going to use to verify that indeed you have attended the session, colleagues. So please complete those details in the match box, in the chat box. That's there. Company name, company name, contact person, email address, telephone number, all of those things for us to verify your attendance. If you do not have access to the chat box, as has been with other briefing sessions that we've held, I do request that you please send an email to myself and post this at our office to confirm that indeed you did attend the session. Please note that we will do our own verification, so please also note the exact login details that you used to attend this session so that we're able to verify that indeed you did attend. So I will be saying this a few times during the session. Please, colleagues, make sure that the chat box, you make use of the chat box to confirm that indeed you have attended this session. I will go through the bid document, but I won't go through page by page. Colleagues, the request is that you please go and once you've purchased the bid document, go through all the clauses and make sure you understand all the aspects. So I'm not skipping them because they're not that important. Obviously, we only have limited time in the session, and we want to touch more on the key aspects of the project. The front page is just details in terms of your registered name, of the entity, your CIDB grading, B level, etc. Please complete. You'll see right at the bottom there is a price offer, VAT inclusive. Colleagues, linked to this bid document is a BOQ document, price list. You need to make sure that you complete that BOQ, and then obviously the final offer must be inputted here in this block. But the two sections must correlate. Unfortunately, colleagues, we are not going to be issuing the Excel BOQ document. The request that you complete that PDF, and the university in this regard has taken that decision that there won't be an Excel document being issued, only the PDF. So please go and complete that PDF. Again, do not make any tampering on that document, colleagues. Complete it as is. I know it's tedious, and demanding, but unfortunately, that decision was taken for various reasons, linked to all these projects. So for now, please just complete the PDF document. Next page is the contents page. So I won't go through that. I'll go to page 3. Page 3 is just summarizing again what I've just covered in terms of the project that we are doing here. Again, it's completion remedial work for the perimeter boundary fence, including installation of 3 access gates at Zipgoing campus, 4GB or higher. And it's for perimeter fencing. We are currently in an online briefing session that is taking place right now on the 13th of June from 11 to 12. Colleagues, it's an online compulsory session, and please again complete your details in the meeting box to confirm your attendance of the session. The bid document is still available after the session at a fee of 1150 via the Percocet website. It's an online payment process, colleagues. No cash payment for the bid document. It's all online. So what you'll do is you'll visit the Percocet website, and then from there go into the tender page. There you'll see various tenders that we're facilitating, including this one. You'll click on this one. It will take you to a payment portal. In that payment portal, then you'll proceed to make the payment accordingly. It is likened to an EFT payment, colleague. So it will request information such as which bank you use. You'll go into your bank, log in and so forth, and process the payment accordingly. Again, it's an interface between the two sides, so no sharing of data between the Percocet website info and the banking details. You'll see, of course, there's reference numbers that you use to confirm payment. Literally a 5 second or less process. So, colleagues, if you have not purchased the bid document and if you still wish to do so after the session, you are still able to do that. The tender, colleagues, is closing on the 27th of June, 2022 at 23:59. It's an online submission, no physical submission VUT and all Perco essay. An online submission using the Perco submission portal. There is a link that takes you directly to that submission portal. In the tender document, in that submission portal, colleagues, it's your session, it's your portal. In terms of the landing page, you'll be able to access that page between now and the closing date and time. I do urge that after the session, you please click on the link, create all the user name and details or all the valid or required registration, and then go and try to submit documents or play around so that you familiarize yourself with the system. Colleagues, with technology, obviously there's a lot of challenges, but this is the method that we're going to use to submit. The onus is really on you to make sure that you've got all the in terms of secure internet connection and all of those things. No excuses will be accepted for non-submission via the portal. You need to submit via the portal. So go and play around with it. You're able to upload documents that you have already now, and then come back to finish the submission accordingly between now and the closing date and time. That link will not be able to be used, or you'll not be able to access that link post the closing time and date. Colleagues, again, we urge that you consider the fact that it's technology. You also consider the fact that again, that there's no physical submissions in this grad, it's just online. From a tender queries perspective, all queries must please be directed to myself at Perco SA. My email address is there, tepo.mampuru@percosa.co.za. Please do not contact the university in this regard regarding this tender. Please, colleagues, let's follow the rules of engagement and ensure that we do indeed follow what is advised. So please do not contact anyone at the university regarding this tender. Tender data, again, just summarizing what I've covered. The 27th of June is the closing date, 90 days. Then we move on to just some clauses regarding the tender. So these are just general clauses that you'll see in most construction-related tenders for VUT. So please read again to understand. Secondly, clause F.1.6.2.1 is a link of where you can attend a session on the opening of the bid. It's an online to the link to access the online opening of the bid is as follows. So the link is there. It will happen the next day. Colleagues, you must make sure that if you do want to attend, you can attend that session. It is not a compulsory session. It's not a compulsory session. So if you do not want to attend that session, you don't have to. All we'll be doing on the day is reading the names of the bidders that have made submissions. Only the names, no pricing whatsoever will be read out. Only the names of submission. The other clauses, again, you'll see there another reminder of who the contact person is from a tender perspective, myself. And then all these are clauses that you should just go back and read and understand and make sure you get the clarity. Emphasis again on the closing time and date, 27th of June 2022 at 23:59, and so forth. Um, and then again, the link to attend the opening session. Clause F.3.18 is making reference to a service fee. Colleagues, this is the Percocet service fee. A bit of background regarding the relationship between Percocet and VUT. Percocet is actually owned by all 26 public universities in the country, including VUT. So obviously they started the business back in 1978, and it's an extension of the procurement department. colleagues. So, for whatever reason that VT cannot facilitate the tender process or procurement-related inquiry, they would make use of our services for various reasons. Maybe it could be capacity issues internally in procurement. It could be again just to get a third-party independent view of the process, and etc. etc. So, this 2% service fee, colleagues, must be inclusive in your pricing. Okay, there's no separate item line for this 2% service fee. You have to make provision for it in whatever way you deem is best. But please note that the 2% service fee is billable, and it's part of the tender, and it's an all-inclusive of the total bid price. Please ensure that your pricing includes the per service fee of 2%, colleagues. Um, then let's see if the- okay, yeah, it's right. Colleagues, then here is the evaluation structure that's going to be followed. Please, we will make this available like we've been doing with other bids, the evaluation criteria, the scope of work, so that you are able to obviously assess in terms of what's the requirement, and you're able to evaluate yourself. So we will make this available, but just at a high level in terms of functionality, it's these aspects that's listed under point one, under T. 2.2.1 list of returnable documents. I will touch on those when we're looking at the functionality stage of the tender. Um, List of compulsory returnables are compulsory documentation. Colleagues, failure to submit any of these documentation will lead to a bid not being considered. Okay, so you need to go through all of these things and make sure you submit all these documents accordingly. Notably, again, the COIDA, the CIDP, registration certificates, your tax clearance, all of those things are things that you need to go and submit if you want to proceed further in the tender. It's a compulsory section, colleagues, and some are supported by documents in this actual document. So please take your time and making sure you prepare all the required documentation. Then from page 10 is really just, again, just cover letters in terms of the functionality. So I don't want to go through that. I actually want to go through the actual table. So here it's the actual table. Colleagues, again, financial standing. This is a point scoring system, colleagues. It's a point scoring system, in that you need to score minimum points in order to proceed to the next stage. So, but you need to provide the evidence in order to score the points. Financial standing, locality. There, colleagues. Obviously, VUT is situated in the Val area, and the service is required in that area. So the request is that you consider those aspects. The university does not have a standard community protocol around procurement. But knowing obviously the history around VT and all the challenges, all you're saying is that if you are going to go into some subcontracting model, joint venture, and all of those things, consider the aspect that VT is in the Val area. But you have, no bidder will be disqualified in the sense that if they're not in the Val area or don't come with a subcontract. It's just that management wanted me to bring that to your attention, and to see indeed how you'll manage that. But here, for the purpose of this discussion, if you're in the Val area, it's 10 points, Gauteng province 5 points, other provinces 2 points in a sliding scale. Then there's aspects around the experience that you need to submit, detailed schedule of key support staff that you need to submit, competency of management structure. Again, bear in mind the qualification that's going to be used to obviously award the points. Technical approach and methodology. Colleagues, we don't want general technical approach and methodology submissions. We will see something downloaded from the internet. It must speak to the project deliverables. It must speak again to the timelines that we've specified. So please ensure that again you just you make sure that indeed your technical approach and methodology is speaking to the project. Submission of detailed program, okay, that's there. And then health and safety, at least diploma at NQF level 6 and provide professional registration with SAOSH. So and again we're cognizant of the fact there are many other bodies, but this is the one that's been requested. So please submit this in order for you to score the points. Um, just seeing here. I think we need to update this. It's duplicating the part. Okay, yeah, we need to update this. We will update and send it to you. The rest of the document, colleagues, is cover letters speaking to the functionality. It's contract data, health and safety aspects that you need to go and read and understand, in order for you to obviously be able to put together a proposal in that regard. I will stop here. I see Tata Mlelane has joined our meeting. Tata Mlelane will probably just go briefly at a high level in terms of the scope of work. Then from there, we'll take any questions and answers that you need to give. Tata Mlelane?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this briefing. Um, so that it's about and colleagues, I had a glitch there. Yeah, basically, am I audible?
You are.
Okay. Yeah, basically, it is the completion of the perimeter clear view fence. If I could give just a brief background, there was a service provider who was appointed to do the perimeter fencing at Sebokeng, and unfortunately, they couldn't complete the project. So at the moment, we envisage to complete the project completely. It entails the remainder of the portion that was not done of a stretch of 1.4 kilometers. 1.4 kilometer, 1 kilometer, 400 meters of a fence that needs to be installed. And also it includes the installation of 3 gates, and areas will be identified on site. One is identified, the 2 other areas for the gates will be identified as well. And also again, let me mention that there were 2 service providers that were appointed, one who absconded or who couldn't complete the project, and the other one was for the installation of the electric fencing. So whoever will be doing the fence, then later on he'll be followed with the service provider who will be installing the electrical fence strands on top. So it is that completion of the 1.4, and it's also the remedial work that was done by the previous contractor that needs to be rectified. So that is the long and the short of it. I don't know if there are any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Tata Mlelane. Colleagues, so it is detailed in the bid. Just also note that the BOQ that has been put together for this project that I mentioned that it is only in PDF, no Excel was submitted. So make sure if you're purchasing the bid document, it also includes this detailed BOQ in PDF. At this stage, what I'll do is I'll just open the floor for questions and answers. So again, I'll follow a process of you raise your hand and then we'll give obviously the answer if available accordingly. Again, to remind you to please continue to complete in your chat box your company details so that we're able to verify your attendance of this session. If you do not have access to the chat box, then please send myself, Poses, and Poses at our office an email, following which then we'll use that also as a further mechanism to confirm your attendance of the session. But of course, we also do our own homework in terms of seeing who's currently on this chat, downloading the attendance register and so forth. So just make sure that indeed when you send that mail, you did attend the session accordingly. Colleagues, the floor is open for any questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question. While you're thinking about questions, again, to draw attention again to the aspect of again putting it the community side of it that VT again is in the Val area, so all of those things must please be taken into account. But of course, you are the one submitting the proposal. You'll make your own, you know, calculations around that. Not seeing any hands, so I'm going twice now. Datum Lolana, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Tshepo. It's just, it imposes a challenge a bit, né? Because of the size of the area that needs to be to be worked on. With me, I'm having, I don't know if I could share the screen. I'm having just a locality aerial view of the area that needs to be fenced, and also a typical existing fence that needs to be meshed with the existing for the new installation. I don't know if I could share that or not.
Go ahead, Ntatemela.
If it would assist. Okay, let me try to share. Yeah, I'm still trying to share it whilst people, colleagues are still thinking of questions that they may arise.
Okay, no problem. A reminder, colleagues, your details on the chat box to confirm your attendance of the session. A reminder again on the closing date, 27, as per the tender, 27 June 2359. Submission link is in the bid document, so it's an online submission, no physical submission at VUT. Online submission, colleagues. Again, a reminder that the bid document is still available after the session. Should you want to purchase it, you just again visit our website and follow all the processes accordingly. Um, Colleagues, you're also able to ask questions even after the session. So don't think that you're restricted only here, but of course, please don't wait for the last minute before asking any questions in that regard. Even if you're struggling with submission, also don't wait for the last minute. After the session, go back and play around with it. Okay, Tadamlan, you can go ahead.
Yeah, is it visible on your side or
It
to
is,
everyone?
yes.
Yeah, this is a typical site layout of our Sebokeng campus. As it is, it was used by the source of sourcing it from the Google map. And the second site plan is the one that is our boundary perimeters within campus, you know, in green. So the remedial work is the one that will be stretching from this site. There is already fence existing that needs to be installed. And the continuation of the 1.4 is the area that's covering this area length to this site, approximately up until here. You know, and the next picture, it depicts the typical example of the fence that we are looking for. It's not a clear view, but it's a clear view. It's referred to as a clear view, but we're not mentioning the product. But this is a typical fence that we're looking for. And at the top, you could see there's already, I think, 6 strands of electric fencing that will be done by a separate service provider that is already being appointed from the previous appointment. So this is a typical fence that we are looking to install. Hence, I've said it poses a challenge due to the size and the length of the area that needs to be marked. But also, colleagues who are within proximity of the university, they are welcome to come and just have a look at what is required. But as you've mentioned, that's about that everything it is measured and captured in the BOQ as well. I hope that will assist as well.
Thank you, Ntate Mlolwane. Colleagues, we're still on the floor for any questions. Please raise your hand if you've got a question. Okay. It seems there's no more questions, so I'll take it. Ntate Mlolwane, any last bites from your side before we proceed to close?
Nothing at the moment, but thank you again, Dr. Sepo.
All right. Colleagues, from my side is to thank you for attending this session. Also to wish you the best of your luck, best of luck in your submission. We do hope to get many submissions from your side. Again, the issue is that we want to assess the value. So if you're able to provide us with that value, please submit a proposal. Bid document still available after the session. We'll upload the evaluation criteria and scope of work just to assist also for those who do need it. Having said that, colleagues, again, to thank you one more time and wish you for the best in your submission. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Ntate Mampuru.